This is Takoa Manning or Bonnie Manning, and I'm here with my dear friend Merri Trifiro, and we received our proofs in the mail. And so it's been a pleasure working with you, Merri, on this book. And we wanted to jump on today and just share some things that we've been writing about that we feel are needed. And so, anyway, Merri, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Bon. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and this has been a very wonderful and learning experience for me as well. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be sharing, and I'm looking forward to other people joining the conversation.
Yeah, and that's what we really want people to join in conversations and dig in and do research. And there's a lot more to some of the terms we discuss in the book than, I knew. I know Mary was raised Jewish and went to the temple and kept all the feasts as a young girl. And so she shared a little bit of her testimony in another video. If you haven't watched it, it's very powerful how the Messiah spoke to her. I did want to read just a little excerpt from something you were writing about in your chapter about anti Semitism. And you say the term anti Semitism emerged in the 19th century, making a shift from primarily religious hostility to a broader form of prejudice based on cultural stereotypes and political tensions. However, these distinctions are often lumped into one of those who harbor racial prejudice. It's important to recognize that Jews are not a race, rather, they can be found among all the races worldwide. Despite this understanding, prejudice against Jews persist.
Exactly. Well,
And
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
The idea here is that both the terms and the understanding and people's understanding of what anti-Semitism is has evolved. The same as when we discuss Zionism and anti-Zionism, those terms have evolved as well. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to glean from all kinds of circles, to look at perspectives coming from different people in different places, different walks of life, different experience. And it's important to gather all these perspectives in order to get a picture of what it is we're really looking at here. I think people
Yeah. And
need
I
to.
think your next sentence really defines everything because you say anti-Semitism, hatred or discrimination against Jews as Jews is distinct from criticism of Zionism or of the modern state of Israel, though the two are sometimes conflated. However, Zionism has evolved as an ism since its inception, and its roots and offshoots challenge its current interpretation. And then your last sentence here says criticism of a government is not criticism of a people, a faith, or an ethnicity. And that right there is so powerful.
Well, there's a lot of discussion about these things that surround us daily in the news and amongst even congregations and people that we associate with. It's a hot topic, and it's been a point of confusion, and it's been very divisive in a lot of ways. People's understanding have been so varied. So there's confusion in this. I think it deserves more discussion and more looking into and getting a better perspective on just what these things are and how they came to evolve to where they are now. You know, the idea that uh, anti-Semitism, which has been around for ages and ages and ages, has morphed in its current meaning from its original. And this is due to part of the rise of Zionism and the Zionist project since the late 1800s. So there's been a lot of things that have fed into the confusion with both
Very much.
yes, not just the terms, but in the way we have understood what these meanings are in our own contexts. How did we get from there to here? How did this turn into such a huge divisive thing? So hopefully people have curiosity and wanting to gain a little bit more perspective on how these things have come to be and what we need to do with them at this point in our walk and in our lives.
Yes, I think so too. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to read a little bit more because it's just so good. You said Judaism and Zionism, though so often conflated, are not necessarily related. One is originally based in an identity of having faith in the God of the Torah, while the other is based more on one's political ideology.
You know, political ideologies and ologies in general tend to get us in trouble, whether it's religious ideology, political ideology. There's ideologies that we build um, from anything and from everything. This has been the case here. Uh, Zionism has grown into what it has become today, and we have to look at the fruit of those things and try and go back and see how did we get to this? How did it turn into this? From Jews' basic aspiration of just wanting to be living in their own place safely and being able to prosper, being a Jew. But you know what? That is the exact same aspiration of every person on the face of the earth. Everyone wants to live free, to be able to be who they were created to be in safety, without feeling, you know, oppressed, put upon. And so that's the same aspirations we all have. It's not a new thing. It's not an original thing, but we know how the history has come about for the Jewish people and their trauma that's been built over the centuries